All right, welcome to Stats 216, section 00. So yeah, this is Intro to Stats. My name is Daniel Barthelme. I'm the course coordinator for this class. And I look forward to meeting all of you. Let's go ahead and introduce our TAs here. So we've got Scott here. This is Scott Payne. So he'll be the lab instructor for, well, right now it's set for section 5 and section 13. So, all right, so here's Scott Payne. Get to know him, yeah? All right, and this is Jonathan Knudsen. Say hi.
Thank you.
So yeah, they'll be doing there's a Thursday lab portion to this class. So that's what they'll be doing. All right, there's a couple seats up here, second row, for the people just coming in. All right. And then the other lab instructors are Ian Derrickson, and is he here today? So he wasn't able to make it to this, but you'll see him on come lab day, Ian Derrickson. And then we also have Bailey Doyle. She's a lab instructor this semester. All right. All right, so everything in this course will be posted on Moodle, and I will be recording the lectures either in this lecture, or I also have another section that's an hour earlier. I may record that one as well, depending on if I make a large goof up or something like that in this section. I'll post the best one. And that'll be up on Moodle. There'll be links, and you can. So if you do happen to miss a lecture for whatever reason, you can always catch up. You can always keep up with what we're learning about. So this the Moodle page, we've got the snapped format here. So it's week by week. So like next week, we'll be on to worksheet 2. And then you can click this and you can click the lock and it tells you when this will become available. So this will be available starting at 9 in the morning on the Thursday. So pretty much when labs are. And that's if, for whatever reason, if you miss lab day, then you will also be able to look and see what we did for the lab. And then the solutions are posted after the lab. So you'll be able to look afterwards and make sure that you did everything in the right way. All right. So let's start off with maybe a little bit of an interactive thing here. So how many of you are business majors? Can you raise your hand if you're business? All right, a lot of people. What about forestry? Forestry? Yeah. Got a little bit. You can raise your hands up nice and high. Looking forward to the Forester's Ball. That'll be great. So, all right. What about biology? Got biology. Got a fair number of biologists here. English. Any English? No? Oh, okay. Well, what about other sciences like nursing or pharmacy or yeah, any other kind of sciencey, like health and human performance, that kind of. All right, so we got a fair number of that. So a lot of sciencey majors here. That's great. I think statistics is great for science. So of course it's required for your major. But, all right. So with let's get to how this Moodle page is going to work out here. So there'll be a lot of general documents under the Welcome to Stat 216. So currently it's the 13th, so it just automatically goes up to this week, and we have the worksheet, which will be available at 6 in the morning on Thursday. And then there's like announcements. So we have some announcements. For those of you just coming in, there's a lot of room on the second to the front, like way up here. You can come walk way up here. It's filling up in the back. This is Stats 216, Statistics 216. So, all right, and we're just going over the Moodle right now. Welcome to all of you that just came in. Welcome to Stats 216. So yeah, if you click on the Welcome to Stat 216 button or link, then here's some important tools. So there's Red Shelf, and you click on this and you should get an access code. So you click on it, and then I always have the pop-ups blocked, so you just open in a new window. And then you hit the View Course Materials. You should see your book here, Stats 216. It's the Intro Stats book. Click on View Course Materials, and here is your access code right there. Copy paste that. All right. So there's some seats over here if you're still looking for seats on this side. Yeah, just come up to the front. Anywhere, it's fine. Yeah. All right, and so once you have that, then you'll go to this other link, My Lab and Mastering Tools. And I'm really hoping that this will be easy and no problems, and then you'll just get right into the online section here. If there are any problems, you can email me, and I'll try to get on top of that as fast as I can. What it will be is I'll probably send an email to a Pearson representative, and then we'll figure it out. So you click this gold button, and it knows me, so it'll just go straight in. So, and this is what you'll see is there'll be a menu on the left-hand side here. The reason why it's really, really important to get into this as early as you can is that it has your ebook right here, the e-text, and then also we use StatCrunch. So StatCrunch is a statistics tool, so you can make different displays, graphical displays, and generally put in some data and get out some statistics like mean or the standard deviation, things like that. Really easy to use tool. And then you'll of course have the online assignments will be posted here as well, and those will be a weekly occurrence. So I'm going to try to make them due on Monday, but of course next Monday is it's a holiday, so I'll make it due on Tuesday for this time around. And you may need a course ID to get on here. So I'm going to send an email out after this with instructions and the course ID so that you can get into this into the Pearson website. So this is it's an opt-out sort of thing. So since you're in this class, you're already registered. You should already have access to this this website. But if you want to opt out, talk to me, and then we'll see about getting you access to the online homework, because that's also a big thing. Is the online homework is through this website, Pearson website. So, all right. Yeah, let's go to the syllabus here. My office is in the math building, 205A. Here's my email. It's just my first dot last name at umontana.edu. I try to respond as quickly as I can to emails. Within 24 hours is what I try to do. So if I haven't responded in 24 hours, you might as well just send me another email, because maybe it got lost somewhere. So yeah. And again, copy paste. Don't type everything out. All right. Course format. So we've got 3 lectures a week, 10 a.m. to 10:50 here. And then there's 1 lab on Thursday. The attendance at discussion sections is mandatory. So it's an integral part of our course here. And it's really great because it's all group based. So you'll have a group and you get to talk with each other and do statistics discussions, and it'll be fun. Also, yeah, it's a lot smaller, so there'll be fewer students and there'll be more space for discussion. It's where you turn in your hand-in homework. It's where you do the labs worksheets. So that's a pretty big part of the course. All right, and there may be a couple of these may switch around, but like Bailey's, these are set. So section 1 and 2 is with Bailey Doyle. So these first 5 sections are all on the first floor. And then these next 5 sections are all on the 3rd floor, right here. So I'll for sure be teaching, I'll be doing section 11 and 12. That's the 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. on the 3rd floor, 312 in the math building. And then Ian Derrickson will for sure be doing sections 14 and 15, 12 and 1 on the 3rd floor as well. So if you have to miss one of these lab days for like some kind of event, say you're in sports and you have game day is on Thursday or Friday and you have to travel, just let me know the week before, and then we'll set up a makeup time on either Monday or Tuesday of that week before the labs. So, and that's how that all works. So just keep me posted with if you have any conflicts with extracurriculars like student clubs or anything like that. All right. So here's all of our emails. This is on the syllabus. So same thing as posted on Moodle. So here's all of our offices. Most of us are in Corbin. And then we've got emails. So you can go to any of these for any statistics questions, if you have any statistics related questions. If you want to do things like change into a different lab section or anything like that that involves CyberBear and registration, you'll want to come to me, send an email to me. I take care of all of the registering and overrides or anything like that. So, all right. But of course, anything that's related to the homework, as far as like, can I turn this in an hour late, or can I, yeah, or things like any kind of lab questions you can give to the lab instructors. All right. Any questions with that? Good. Awesome. Okay, let's go over the learning outcomes some. So you're maybe wondering, what did you sign up for? So here's where we learn about that. So we want to look at data. we'll look at both numerically and graphically. And this learning outcome 1 relates with learning outcome 6. So being a critical consumer of data, you want to be able to look at data and know what it's saying, and also know if there's anything that's misleading about the data. Sometimes different newspapers or news articles, maybe their graph isn't as good as it should be. Yeah, know what to look out for. Yeah. And then we're going to be talking about the normal model. And maybe you don't really know precisely what a model is. So we'll learn about models in general and also the normal model, like what kind of shape it has, and what does it look like. So we'll learn about relationship between two variables. So of course, what goes into that is knowing what a variable is. That's kind of a very basic thing, which is may not be as easy as you think, actually. So you want to be solid on understanding like what's a quantitative variable, what's a categorical variable. And then this one's great for all the science people, is what's a good experimental design. So we'll go into depth with that. And then a big thing about this course is statistical inference. So all that is, it means that you look at all the data and then you're making some kind of like an inference, like some kind of you're getting something from this data, and then you're condensing it down into some kind of like either a conclusion or just some statistics, important statistics, something like that. And then also we talk about confidence intervals and p-values. We want to know about what those are. So, all right. Calculators. So I posted a page on Moodle as well about what calculators you want to use for this course. So pretty much the big thing is you want to be able to do statistics. There should be some kind of a statistics button where you can do things with normal distributions, t-distributions. And generally a TI-83 or TI-83 plus are really good. The things you want to stay away from are QWERTY keyboards. So what that means is a lot of times those calculators you can download a PDF. So they're not great for in the test situation because I don't want you looking at PDFs when you're doing your test. So yeah, the ones with the QWERTY keyboards are overpowered for this course. Also, no communication devices as well. So you can't use your cell phone as a calculator for the test. So you might as well just get on getting a calculator if you don't already have one. And I have a page on Moodle that lists off all the different kinds of models that are the common models that are could be used for this course. Grading. So as mentioned before, there's online homework, there's hand-in homework, and then there's also a lab portion. Those are the three areas where we're going to be graded here, and then also exams. So the online is 10%. The lab is, so we do worksheets in the lab. That's 10%. So don't skip the lab day. That's a big part of the class. 11% for the hand-in homework. And then these, how many are dropped? So we'll drop 2 for the online homework, and I'll drop those like 2 to 3 weeks before the end of the semester. So none of those will be dropped right away because I don't want to give you a false sense of what your grade is in this course in Moodle. Yeah, if you're still looking for a chair, there's some up here. You can just come down and yeah, you can come down all the way down here and find a chair. That's good. And then each of the exams are the same weight. So we've got 2 midterms and then a final exam, but they're all 23%. So that's the vast majority of your grade in this course. So you want to keep up with things. You want to study some of those basic student skills. You want to do those. So none of these are dropped. They're all taken into account. And then with this, the grading scale is a little bit different than the standard. So to get a C minus, you have to get at least 68. But I reserve the right at the end of the semester to make that just like a little bit lower. So say like a 66 or something to get a C minus. And I'll look at how all the distribution is with that. So, all right. So it'll be, I may lower these numbers, but I won't raise them up, so to speak. So, all right. Hand in homework, so no late homework will be accepted. Correct grammar. So yeah, we expect you to write in complete sentences, use correct grammar, because that's part of being a statistician, is being able to clearly communicate your conclusions and make it concise, make it so that all the info that the reader needs is right there. So don't leave things out. So a common thing is like if you're totally new to statistics, maybe you'll forget to talk about like what the units are or what the variables are. Some of these basic things like what do the numbers mean? So some of the contextual things that you need to include in your answers, so that the reader knows what you're talking about. If you're sick, you could email an assignment, so that'd be to your lab instructor if it's okay with them. So like let's say you come down with the flu on Thursday or Wednesday or something, and you want to turn in your homework assignment, then you would just send an email and say, okay, is it okay if I give you the electronic version, and work that out with your lab instructor. All right. So yeah, so I encourage you to work together on your homework, but you shouldn't be copying. So you shouldn't be writing the same things. And what you really should not be doing is if you type the answers, don't do any copy paste with your answers with other students. So make sure that the work is your own work. It's actually pretty easy to see if you do the copy paste. So don't do that, but I would encourage you to work together. It's always great to be able to discuss and ask questions, and also try to answer questions to other students. Yeah. All right. So that goes for online homework as well. Just you can work together, but just do your own work. Late work is okay. There's a 20% penalty for late work. Also, if you have any, you can retry the problems. So everybody should be getting 100% on the online. And I make these due on Monday for the most part, because there is study jam as well on Monday, which is it's a place where there will be tutors and you can ask questions. And so you could work on the online homework and ask questions at the same time. So, okay. Recommended problems, those will be in your textbook. And I load them onto Moodle, so they'll be posted on Moodle with what recommended problems you have here. All right. Okay, so here's something that you should put on your calendar. So there will be evening tests in this class on February 20th and on March 26th from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. So I know like a lot of you also have jobs or extracurriculars. So make sure that you request these days off at your work, because it's important to go at this time. If things do come up, make sure that you send an email to me or talk to me in person, and we can we'll talk about what we can do if you absolutely need to do a makeup. So, and yeah, so no makeups will be given without a documentable reason. So, all right. And then the final exam will also be an evening course. So this one, I'm having it so both of the sections are doing it at the same time. So there's no like one day and then the next day, because I want it to be fair between the two sections. So it will take place on Wednesday, May 6th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Here, and then also in Uri. So this section will be in this same room, but then the other section will be over in Uri. All right. And then I also I still need to get the room reservations for that. So I will confirm this once I get the room reservations for that time. The midterms are confirmed already. So those are the times that they will be. So, all right. Okay, study advice. Come to class. Yeah, I know. One of my goals as a teacher is to try to make the lecture somewhat interesting, because I want to make it easier for you to be engaged. And it's a real challenge, because with so many students, it's hard. It's hard to make it engaging, but I am going to make it a goal this semester to try to make it engaging like that. Study the notes. So you can do that before class and after class. And then of course you should be, with the course pack, there's blanks on the page. So we'll be going through some of those together. That's the bulk of our time during the lecture will be going through the course pack. So I would seriously suggest that you, or recommend that you get a hold of a course pack somehow. Those should be in the bookstore today, or maybe they'll be in tomorrow, but they should be in there. So reading the textbook, I wouldn't read it like a novel, because it's kind of a painful process. What I would do is I would look at graphs, or like the different kinds of pictures. I would look at headings, and then see if you're familiar with the topic of box plots. Maybe you don't have to go into detail with that section. But let's say you're not familiar with the topic of standard deviations, then I would suggest you go through in detail in the textbook as well, to see precisely what they say about what the standard deviation is. So I would go through and I'd read through and be like, okay, this is really confusing. I'm just going to read through this maybe once, maybe twice, this paragraph or this page. And then maybe means, maybe I'm already kind of okay with means, and you don't need to read in detail with what a mean is. So that's the way I would read the textbook. And then, do your homework conscientiously. So just keep on top of that. Make it a point to do this every week. Study jams are from 6:30 to 9 p.m. I think the room has changed this semester. I think it's the Grizz Central, I think is the location. So there's a link on Moodle which will have the up-to-date information with the study jam. All right, and then I plan to spend 2 hours outside of class for each hour of class. So that would be, yeah, that would be eight hours. So 3 hours for the, there's 3 credit hours for the lecture and a credit hour for the lab. So should be, yeah, expect about 8 hours if you're budgeting your time. So, all right. Yeah, seriously, it seems like a lot, but there is a lot of work that's involved with learning new things. So, all right. Okay, adding or dropping the course. This is all online, and I'm not going to go through this in detail. Okay, so now we can get to the announcements. So yeah, every day we do announcements. The announcements are pretty long this time since it's our first class. So let's get on there. I'll post them on Moodle. Here we go. All right. So today is the 13th. Okay, so this is something that's coming up real quick. So there's a questionnaire that's on Moodle. Here, I'll just bring it up here. It's on the Welcome to Stats 216 right here. So this is important for we're going to be using this data to do like examples, and we'll be talking about this data. So this is our first data set in this class. We'll have you'll answer these questions, and then we'll learn how many of you are freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, maybe questions like how much do you work, how many hours, how many credits, questions like that. And this will actually be one of your homework assignments as well. We'll use the data collected here in a homework assignment. You'll use StatCrunch, and you'll draw like a histogram or something like that, and look at the data there and talk about it. So it should only take about 5 minutes. They're all easy questions. It's just like, yeah, how many hours do you work a week? Things like that. And then, yeah, so make sure you do that by Wednesday, 4 p.m. So this Wednesday, 4 p.m. So yeah, I need that before the lab. So, all right, before Thursday. All right. Okay, so your first homework will be posted this Thursday. And they'll be due the next Thursday. And that's the way it'll work. Pages 1 through 44, chapters 1 and 2. This is just kind of like a recommended timeline here. Monday, January 20th, just so you can keep up with the pace with the class. So yeah, look at your textbook and see what we're learning, what topics we're going into. And then here's a list of the recommended problems. All right, so there's an option. I can't remember if I talked about this already, but there's an option to get the textbook printed. We have to get with the bookstore on that. Talk to the bookstore. You can either talk to them yourself or send me email. I'll email them, and we'll see about if you'd like to get a printed version. There'll be just an extra fee to cover the printing costs for the textbook if you would like paper copy. So I would highly recommend you get the course pack if you don't have it already, because I'm using the same course notes as last semester. So if you are retaking this course, you can use the same course pack. But yeah, this should be in the bookstore today. And that's what we'll be doing in lecture time. So, all right. Exams, we already know about that. Let's talk about expectations. This will be fun. All right, so so this is my second time teaching this class, so I think I've got most of the kinks worked out, so that's good. Also, I'm pretty accommodating to requests because I know that life happens. I'm aware that statistics isn't your entire life. You have other things or concerns, or maybe you have family matters, or you have work. Maybe work is a big part of your after hours, or sports. You know, sports can take up a lot of time and take some extra organizing and extra consideration there. Or also just the unknown, you know, things come up. So always feel free to send me an email and we can talk about it, and we can get something worked out. So yeah, easy to contact, person or email. Expect me to be that. Egalitarian treatment. So that just means that I'm going to do, I'm just going to like treat you equally. So I'm not going to do favorites or anything like that. So that's what you can expect from me. All right. And then I think I mentioned this already, but I'm going to try to make lectures interesting. Yeah, I'm going to try to do that. But there's no guarantees. So no guarantees with that. So, so it's kind of on you for, you know, being as active as you can. Like with, you should be writing the notes down. That's a good way to be active. Fill in the blanks with that. It's another way. You can be active. I like seeing these laptops here. That's another great way to be active, is if you do find yourself wandering away, you could maybe like bring up some online homework, or bring up, well, maybe the textbook wouldn't be any more engaging, but you could try to switch it up with the things on your laptop as well. So, and yeah, I understand that the internet is a really awesome resource. There's like a ton of stuff on the internet. So there's a ton of information on there. So you can always do stuff on Wikipedia and like find statistics stuff up there, and just to kind of like learn a little extra, you know, if you're already kind of really on top of the course notes. So, but what do I expect from you? Well, what goes along with that is with your laptops and cell phones. Don't be playing games, because those can be distracting. Also, YouTube videos could be distracting because, well, you know how it works. It's all about capturing your attention. So YouTube videos are going to be, you know, a lot of different pictures popping up and just trying to capture people's attention. But you don't want to distract people behind you with all of that attention grabbing. What goes along with that, games are the same way, like video games, because a lot of them are ad-based, so attention grabbing. Social media, again, a lot of that's ad-based, attention grabbing, so that can be distracting. So yeah, keep away from that in class. That would be a big help to everybody's learning environment. What goes along with that is talking. So try to keep the conversations to minimum. I think what you're doing, like this level right now, I think is great. I think you guys are doing great right now for keeping the volume down and making it so people can easily hear the lecture. But I since this is my second time teaching this course, I know that after about 4 or 5 weeks, maybe tends to slip a little bit. And maybe people are getting a little more into their conversations. But just try to be respectful of others, because it does affect the learning environment. All right, come to class on time. I expect you to do that. But if you, that being said, I don't want to like scare you away if you're 5 minutes late. Just come in, walk in, that's fine. You're not really bothering us at all. Just come in and you can take a seat anywhere. Yeah, 5 minutes, 20 minutes after. I mean, I prefer you getting at least half an hour of instruction than just not coming at all. That being said, I will also record the lectures so you can catch them. But it's always better in person though, because then you can ask questions, which I do encourage, by the way. So I encourage you to ask questions, because if you're thinking it, probably like 10, 20 other people are also wondering about this same question. Oh, here, I didn't do the first bullet. So take charge of your own learning. So that will really help you on the exams, because exams are solo. You got to do that by yourself. So if you're able to take charge of your own learning, then you should do better on the exams as well, which is a large part of this course. Well, grade-wise. Yeah, thoughtful and respectful. Yeah, that's always good. Oh yeah, with your cell phones. Yeah, you can't use those during exams, of course. So, yeah, back to that. Okay, so about this class in general. So it's not a math class as you know it. So there's going to be fewer numbers, but then there's going to be more words. So that can be a little bit off-putting for the number files, the people who love numbers. So, but there are some numbers. It's just not as much as like algebra, where you're just writing symbols all the time and you don't really have to worry about writing sentences or anything. So a big shift here in statistics. So what goes along with conceptual understanding is drawing pictures. I always encourage drawing pictures. I think it's a great way to just quickly grasp or quickly describe a problem or a concept. I think it's great. So, and of course, graphs are a big part of the course as well. Let's see, being successful. Oh yeah, so don't slack off or take a break. So just try to keep up with things. The class doesn't start on April, it starts now, day one. And then, something that I didn't even go over in the syllabus. Let's just look at this, and this will be our last thing here. I don't think I even went over this. There's a tentative schedule. This is great if you're wondering what kind of topics we'll get to, or what the pace of the course will be. So you can see, you can also see what days you have no class. That's kind of helpful. And maybe you really want to know when spring break is. It starts March 16th. So our second test is the week after spring break. And then the way the exams work are we don't have lecture the day after the exams, so that it's just the same amount of class time. Because I realize you have extra time and taken in the evening, so we don't do class the very next day, so you can take a 3-day weekend there. So with regards to statistics, talking about not slacking off. So let's look at some of these topics here. So the first, don't be lulled into a false sense of security here, because the first part of this class is, it's pretty basic stuff like box plots, knowing what a variable is, things like that. Empirical rule, so like the 68, 95, 99.7 rule, we'll get into that. Scatter plots, all that kind of stuff. But then second portion, we have things like regression and then some probability, which you should all be pros with probability, I think. That would probably be a review. But if not, we'll learn that again. Experimental design, there's a lot of vocab there. Can get a little more difficult. But then this last section is actually, from what I've heard, from the last time I taught this course. This was the section that people had the hardest time with. So just brace yourself for that. Maybe work ahead or different kinds of strategies like that. So things like the central limit theorem, and then we've got T procedures and testing hypotheses. So you may not know what any of those are, so they're all new things, statistics things. And then this last chapter is we're working with two different groups, and we're comparing them with these methods. So yeah, that's all I have for you today. Are there any last minute questions? Well, if there are, just come down. I'll answer them. Yeah. Have a great day.